Hello. Oh, fuck. Hello, everyone. We are here with Can-Am Tier 2 for our Australia sprint race this time around. We've got 17 drivers on the grid this evening, and if all goes to plan, some enjoyable racing on the way. So let's get everything up that we need, and plenty of times heading in already at the minute. Currently one Haas at the minute in provisional sprint quaddy, provisional pole for sprint quaddy with a 1:16.9 at the minute. Currently his teammate on an outlap with Coach just about to cross the line for his first flying lap of the session. Currently P7, unfortunately the slowest of the current drivers, but it does look like Coach is going once again for another lap. We'll go back on board in a moment as we jump on board Riles in his Mercedes as he crosses the line for second position right now. Obviously we can't comment too much on the lap as we missed the majority of it, but a very positive opening lap for the Mercedes, a few tenths behind Jensen and Frenny there as well in third place. Very close so far between sixth and sixth would have been final position we say, but seventh and second and seventh at the minute, only 4 tenths separating them 5 drivers so far, as NASCAR is on his way round the final few corners here, taking a fair amount of curb into the fourth to last corner. I can't remember what turn number that is, but as we come up to the final corner now for NASCAR, is on his first lap of the day in this qualifying and into P5 with a 17.5. This mid pack at the minute is extremely close. Clint currently in second place, just ahead of Riles and just a couple of tenths behind the can't exactly say dominant Haas, but Jensen has put in some huge drives so far this season. Here is Budalo. They seem to be getting some extremely good second sectors here at the minute. So Buda in the Williams right now and has looked a fairly good second half of the lap at the minute. We'll see how he does through these final 2 corners. Round the final one, DRS right at the exit there of the final corner, down towards the start finish line and just ahead of his teammate into the 16.9s as well. Only half a tenth separating the leading 2 drivers at the moment. We were just about to go on board the McLaren here. Currently 14th fastest is Logan. A little bit of work to do for a few of these drivers towards this towards the back of the pack at the minute. Jay and Wildo still yet to set some lap times, with only just under 4 minutes to go in the sprint qualifying. There is not much time for them to get out and set not respectable, because no doubt there are going to be some decent times, but it is going to be one lap wonders for the Haas and the Ferrari at the minute. So yeah, 3.5 minutes to go. It's gonna be one and done for those guys. We are currently on board Freddie at the minute in the Sauber. This chair is seriously squeaky, honestly. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, so on board, watching Freddie at the minute through these final couple of corners. He has actually backed off slightly on this lap, so possibly a mistake there for the Strava here. Although is on medium tyres at the minute. Let's see what else other tyres people have done their laps on so far. So only Berda and Logan have used a set of mediums for this session so far. I think Freddie may have left this lap a little bit too late there. It's going to be costly. His battery light already flashing at the very start of this final flying lap for him. It could well be crucial for him come the end of this race. We have got a fairly flat out sector 2 after these niggly corners through here, and now down towards the second DRS zone of the track here. There is 4 on the circuit. He is just under a 10th up at the minute for Freddie, and it could take him within touching distance of the top 2. It could well be damaging towards the end of this lap, and a bit of a slide out the second to last corner there, down towards the main straight now. Will be across the line, and it is 7/10 up on his down up on his time. That is extremely costly for Ferrari there. NASCAR though, we jump on board as he sets a purple sector 1 now in his racing ball, down towards the fast left right here, and takes that fairly well. We missed what his sector 2 time was there, unfortunately, and let's see how he goes. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. It's gonna be costly towards the end of this lap, and we do have a Red Bull in the wall. That is, I'm not sure who that is. I believe that might be Exception into the wall as NASCAR crossed the line half a second gained on that previous lap, and into P3. It was unfortunately Mike with the moment there. So Jensen just under a 10th down up on his time, but just over a 10th down on his time. That is unfortunate for him. Let's see how Clint goes into provisional pole for the Williams driver here. We've got Buddha and Jensen coming towards the end of their laps as well. Buddha slightly down on his time through sector 2. Let's see how he goes round these final couple of corners. McLeod pinging himself into second place. Buddha into second now as well. This has got extremely close for many of these drivers. Exception into third place. We've got Jensen. Will he be able to clinch provisional pole? Not able to this time around. So it is the 2 Williams currently in the provisional top 2 spots at the minute. Coach and Badger next will be across the line is 7 into third place for the Mercedes, and Coach will be the final driver, unfortunately invalidated, and NASCAR across the line, and that is the end of our sprint qualifying there. The two Williams leading the march in Australia here, taking the top two spots with Clint and Buddha there. That is exceptionally close from the two teammates. Haas drivers only separated by 36 milliseconds and 7 just under a tenth away. This top three in qualifying is ridiculously close. Let's hope it translates to these next few laps of racing. We will have a good old fight on our hands for 11 or 12 laps, I think. I can't actually remember, to be honest. We'll be back in a moment for lights out of the sprint race. In the next few moments, we'll be back. So we are underway for the formation lap of this sprint race. As we can see there, it is, as we know, the two Williams out in front on the front row, with the Mercedes of Riles sat in P3. And then we are joined by the two Hasses in 4th and 5th of Jenson and Jay. A solid pairing there for those two. And much like the Williams this second half of the season, they have done extremely well for the team there. And in 6th place, we head to Exception in the Red Bull. A decent qualifying there for him. Edgar in the Aston Martin, a long time Can-Am driver, so struggled slightly this season, but a few races to go to still put in some very good performances. He will no doubt want to come back stronger for next season. 8th place, we've got McLeod, a decent qualifying once again. And then NASCAR in 10th place, a tough qualifying for him. Frenny in 11th place in the Sauber, followed by the first McLaren here of McCoy, and Mike with an even tougher qualifying there, just ending his final run before it even started, followed by Logan drifting around the final two corners there in 13th place. Mr. G, after being away for a few weeks, he is back on the grid in with a fairly good qualifying in 14th place. Coach, a tough season for him so far in 15th. Badger in 16th. And the Ferrari of Will leading up the back of the grid there in 17th. Here we go then. We have got are 5 red lights on the way. There is our possible strategies. Righty ho, here we go, and we are off for the sprint in Australia here. Running down to turn 1 are the 2 Williams drivers, and that looks... oh my days, what is going on back here? That is... oh my god, we've gone 3 wide in the first few corners. Someone's looked like they've gone into a wall, and it is absolute mayhem in these opening 4 corners here. Drivers all over the place, and a fair few movers in this opening session. Looks like someone's just been tapped into the wall there in this midfield battle at the minute. And Jenson down to 8th place, a really tough start for one of our drivers, an even tougher start for Jay there in the background in 17th place. Started towards the front of the grid, currently at the back, and these drivers are gonna have one hell of a battle. Here we go then, Edgar and Jenson side by side, touching wheels midway through the fast left and right there, and they keep going side by side as we head down towards the final 2 corners. Jenson just creeping ahead and backing up everyone else behind. Edgar will not be giving up with this position. He is going to fight Jenson all the way down to turn 1. I'm just trying to look for the move around the outside. Jenson covers it off nicely. There is also Frenny though in the background. Mr. G building plenty of positions so far in this opening couple of laps. We've got a few movers towards the front there as well. I believe Severin and Buddha swapping places a couple of times. I'm not 100% sure. It looked like they moved around. But as we sit here in this midfield battle, the 2 racing bulls are very close towards Frenny and Edgar at the minute. Jenson though has got past Edgar though is well. 7 just making moves on one of the Williams of Buddha, second behind the leading Williams, but he's going to have a big task ahead of him to defend this charging Williams of Buddha behind. 7 tenths separates them, 9 tenths separates 7 from the leading... oh, don't be doing that, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. 9 tenths separate the top 2, and 7 with the fastest lap of the race at 18.7. DRS just helping out a bit here, and now he has another dose of DRS heading towards turn 3 now. Will he get a bit closer towards Clint? Not able to this time, as Clint just pulls away from these drivers. A few changes here. Mike getting past McLeod a moment ago. Jenson though is starting to fight his way back through this pack. McLeod's going to have some defending to do from the Haas shortly, but for the time being he is chasing down Mike in the Red Bull. A few tenths behind him. Will he try and make a move through the fast left right here? Nope, stays behind him. A good decision from the Mercedes there. But that has given Jenson the chance to close the gap to the car ahead of him now, and will definitely have a dose of DRS down the main straight. Edgar with our 2nd time penalty of the day. 3 seconds for him and Mike so far. McLeod just losing a small amount of pace to... or was starting to lose a small amount of pace to the house behind. Nothing doing this time around, and will stay behind for the time being through turn 1 and 2 as we head towards turn 3, 4. Just gets that little bit closer, but not able to do too much more. We're going to jump back on that battle in a moment as we see here NASCAR within striking distance of the Sauber ahead of him. 3 tenths between them. Frenny does have the DRS though on Edgar ahead of him. This is going to be a close battle. The DRS is going to be open now, heading towards turns 8 and 9, I want to say. There is not much separating these three drivers whatsoever. Jenson with a time penalty here. Drivers pushing everyone to the limits at the minute. Could they be risking a bit too much through this race right now, with not much left of this season overall? Every point is very, very crucial for many of these drivers to try and move up some positions here. So we are currently watching the battle between Edgar Franny and NASCAR. This is only for P8 at the minute. I believe the final points position in this sprint format for everyone here, or at least for Can-Am. I can't actually remember. My memory is useless. So we are just keeping an eye on most of these battles at the minute. We are jumping on board the leading two cars of Clint and Seven, and it is Seven making the move before the fast left-right corners and into P1. At the same time, Clint just going wide on the exit, getting a 3-second penalty, and unfortunate for one Williams driver. He does have his teammate fairly close behind, so could they help each other out here? Could they play a bit of a team game? They do have an exception just behind as well, so he is going to try and be pouncing on that. Small mistake from Clint, aiming for a podium spot. Seven though clearly has plenty of pace left in this car at the minute. He's already pulled away a second from the three behind him. This is going to be tough now for Clint Buddha to stay with Seven. Clint with the time penalty at the moment. This could go a few ways for him. Buddha though does seem to be holding back a small amount. Seems to be trying to help his teammate out here, and with 3.5 laps to go, it is very, very possible. So we have missed a couple of moments here. Mr. G up into the top 10 at the minute. Franny looking to have had a moment, does also receive a time penalty. We've got a three-way battle here between Mike Jenson and McLeod still going on, with the three drivers ahead of them also battling away. So this could lead for these guys to try and catch up in these remaining remaining 4, is it 3? I don't know. I'm just going to go with 4 because of the last final lap as well. So let's see how these guys get on. Let's jump on board from McLeod's view. Logan there making a move. Franny into the pits for this, and he has unfortunately lost the front wing. That is costly for the Sauber driver. Was running fairly well in this race, so he will now drop just a bit ahead, a bit behind McCoy there, a bit behind McCoy in the McLaren. A tough race for plenty drivers here. Clint making, unfortunately being overtaken by Exception, who is now into the top 3. So a lot of movers gonna happen towards the end of this race. Clint just dropping off from the back now has given Jenson a chance to put away from giving Jenson a chance to overtake and put away from the Williams, and this is a tough race for Clint. This is going to be a tough one for him to handle as well. Started on pole, currently down in 5th. That time penalty he knows hasn't helped him this race. and just now starting to really fall off the cliff with these tyres. Already a second behind Jensen. Mike now as well, chasing him down. He could be out of the points come the end of this sprint race. Oh my god, this chair. So, Mike, with the DRS open there, making it past, I really do feel a bit here for Clint. This has not been the race he would have wanted. A very, very tough one to take. He will, though, I believe, did he get a chance for DRS there? I'm not sure he did. He hasn't. He was just outside the detection zone at the time. Jensen is absolutely flying in that Haas at the minute. 4th place right now. 3-second penalty to contend with at the end, and chasing Exception down right now. A tough start for Jensen. Him and his teammate dropping towards the back of the field, and Jensen has just had a lot of work to do for making positions back. Could well be a lot higher in this race had it not been for the opening couple of laps. Well, really, the opening 4 corners. They were a bit of a mess, shall we say. And Exception gets a time penalty, pushing as hard as he could to stay on the back of Jensen's Haas there, and it has cost him dearly in this race. So 7 and Buddha putting away nicely at the minute, although Jensen has actually caught up quite a bit on that previous half a lap. That DRS seriously helping him through the middle sector. We have got McLeod though extremely close to Clint at the minute, and we could see another overtake on the Williams driver, and DRS assisted for McLeod, not able to have quite enough pace this time around. We have got a Ferrari having a moment on the main straight there. We are actually on the final lap of the race. Jensen is in this fight for P2. Could he make it past Buddha for another position? We'll find out in a minute. We've also got McLeod heading towards the same part of the track. Could he be in with a chance for an extra position? Not able to do anything this time. Jensen not able to do too much either, and McLeod up in to P6, and Clint not really fighting too hard towards the end there. With his time penalty, that has cost him quite a bit, and we see 7 Buddha, Jensen all crossing the line. Exception is next. Mike is in 5th. McLeod and Clint in 6th and 7th respectively. Edgar will come across the line in 8th place. Mr. G in 9th place. A very good drive there from towards the back end of the grid up into 9th place. Logan in 10th place. He just gets to NASCAR after his unfortunate time penalty there. And McCoy in 15th, Frenny in 16th, Coach having a very tough race there in 17th. But one more race to go, one more lot of qualifying to look forward to, and if anything is to go by, we hopefully could well have another close 18 minutes of quick laps on the way. This bloody chair. Alright, here we go then. 7 is your sprint winner, followed by Buddha, Jensen, Exception, Mike, McLeod, Clint, and Edgar as the potential point scorers there. Mr. G, Logan, NASCAR, Will, Badger, J, McCoy, Funny, Coach, round off your grid. No, yep. Shit, I forgot tyres. Took too long to get there. What an idiot. What an absolute plonker. So we have got qualifying here for the main event of the race. Plenty of drivers on their way for their initial flying laps. We have got Frenny, the first driver, on his the first driver to get us on the way in these first initial hot laps. Let's jump on board, we'll see how he goes for this lap. So, Frenny's setting us a benchmark of a 17.4. It will be Exception next across the line for a 16.7. That is exceptionally quick from the Red Bull driver. NASCAR next across the line is third fastest at the minute. A good opening lap for fast car there, a little bit behind Frenny at the minute, but still within, well, still a lot of time for them to go back out once again for some more laps. Here is Jenson, a very strong few corners there for the Haas driver. DRS is open. How will he do through this final part of the track? 44.0 overall. Can he take the fight to Exception, who has set a blisteringly quick first lap of this session? Here we go then. Jenson will go across the line for a 16.6. He has really taken this fight now to Exception. He did post the quickest time early on in the initial sprint qualifying. So how will he get on for the remainder of this one? McCoy pinging it up into P3 here. A tough sprint qualifying for him earlier on, but he has pulled a serious lap out here. 16.8, a couple of tenths off of provisional pole, and that is a crazy time, I must admit, for McCoy. He has looked strong at parts throughout the season, so could some of his form be coming back towards the end of it? Here's Clinton, your pole position sitter from sprint qualifying and only 8th fastest at the minute. Will smashing it into 4th place. That, I must admit, is somewhat unexpected. I don't mean that to sound harsh or anything like that, but he struggled in qualifying at times this season. We know Will can race fairly well, but 4th fastest at the minute, 7 minutes into the session. That is a very good open lap for the Ferrari driver there, who I believe is currently giving the McLaren of Logan a huge tow down the opening part of the lap, and he has unfortunately invalidated his lap there. We'll jump back on board. Sorry, is that? No, not quite. Where did Edgar go? There he is. So Edgar is looking fairly good. I believe that was a purple sector 1 a moment ago. We'll double check that in a second, but he is matching Jenson's pace at the minute. This is gonna be close. Could he pinch provisional pole so far, or will he fall just short? It has been a strong lap so far for this Aston Martin driver. A little lock up into the final couple of corners and across the line in a moment. Round the final one we go, heading towards the line and into P6. A small bit of time lost round in that final sector. 17.1 so far. A very good showing for Edgar at the minute. Is that Buddha's just stuck it into P2 at the minute, and Frenny into P9 right now. We've got a few drivers on their way round. Who is ahead of these guys currently on laps? It is Logan for the final 4 corners here. Round one of them. Round the third to last corner. And what will this time be? He hasn't got... Will he be jumping into the pits? No, he won't. He's going to go finish his lap. And DRS open down towards the line into top fastest for the McLaren of Logan. Here is McLeod though, as we pick him up on as he exits the final corner into ninth for the Mercedes. A decent lap time there for McLeod, a respectable time so far as well. Who else is on laps? Let's try and work this out quickly. Is Franny on a lap? I believe he is. Will he be carrying on round? He will indeed. Right, let's see how Franny goes on this final little bit of his lap up into P7, a 17.0 there. NASCAR just struggling towards the end of his lap there. Here's Michael in Red Bull. How will he do? Will he ping it up into the top 10? 17.2 for the Red Bull driver into P9 as well. A decent lap for him at the moment. Coach has just started his, I believe his first lap of the session. 7 is about to start his as well, so we will compare these two drivers as we come round. We know Coach has got some speed to him. Let's see if we are able to catch a glimpse of it through this session. So it is 29 overall for Sector 1, I believe, and unfortunately for 7 he has invalidated. We will stick on board the Alpine here as we head through the final sector. 44.7 so far, a little bit off the front runners at the moment, but anything I believe for top 12 for Coach here is gonna help him out a lot, give him some more confidence within this game, as seems like some struggles across this season for him, and it is into 13th, a decent lap there for the Alpine, and 6.5 to go. This is realistically anyone still for that pole position spot. Clint though in the Williams 17.0 so far. I believe he is on his way to do another lap, just losing a bit of time through sector 1. How will he do through 2? Keeps it close to the inside of the track, swings it out, swings it from outside to inside for this, but still down on his time. He's lost another 60 milliseconds through there, and he has invalidated at some point throughout this lap. So how is he just going to go in and change tyre here? Yeah, into the pits he goes for Clint, I believe that was, wasn't it? Yeah. So Franny, the first driver, back out on track, followed by Riles there in the Mercedes. Could Riles be doing a couple of laps here with 5 minutes to go? He's definitely got time to do outlap faster, and well, maybe actually just a couple of fast laps if he's able to do it. Let's have a little look on board 7 quickly, see he seems to have enough in for just over a lap or two. So Franny in 7th place at the minute, 17.0. He's going to have some traffic to contend with on his flying lap though. Couple of drivers, including his teammate there, on their way out on track at possibly a bad time for the Sauber of Franny. They've also got Riles behind as well. Riles has gained a hell of a lot of close that gap already to Franny. There's a chance Riles could catch the Sauber here on his flying lap. Let's see how they do. 26.6 for Franny and a 26.7 for Riles, and some very good laps at the minute from both of these drivers. 44.0 and 7 with a 43.9. That is, God, that's quick. Bloody hell, Riles. Fair enough, into the 43s for Sector 2. That is exceptionally quick from the Mercedes. What has other drivers got in response to that? As Freddie has a little drift around the final corner, completely ruins his lap, and into the pit lane he goes. Riles, where can he put this car? And it's into second place, just behind Jensen. Damn. That Sector 2 has seriously set him up for a good second half of the lap. And Badger, unfortunately, invalidating Logan, though, setting a decent Sector 1 time, 3.5 tenths up on his previous time. How is he going to do through here? Half a second up already, nearly 6 tenths for the McLaren driver. Final sector for him here. How can he get on? And it's 7 tenths up on his time, but it only moves him to 15th place at the minute. That is a struggling Logan there. Still very close to the majority of drivers, and with, I believe it is 30 something laps on the way. Plenty of time to make some moves in this race. Anything is possible here in Australia, as we see a Sauber disappearing off into the distance there in the background. Luckily it wasn't Badger, his teammate just moving out of the way here. Clint on a flying lap, plenty of drivers out in their droves now, on their way to set their final laps of qualifying. 10th and a half up for Clint then. Quickest in Sector 2 apparently, but I didn't quite see the time of what it was. A bit of toe ahead of him. Lucky for Clint there, really. Helps him through the final few corners he goes. Clint, I believe, is going to be the first driver to take the checkered flag. It's going to be close though, and into P1 he goes. He is on provisional pole for this race. The Williams driver on a different level today, in just over 10th ahead of Jensen, who is still up on his time, and he's invalidated through that second sector, and that is unfortunate for the... Oh my days, we've got extremely close drivers here. Riles has taken the checkered flag in qualifying. Buddha and Exception are flying around here. And... oh my days, Buddha has just taken a provisional pole so far off his teammate. 2 tenths quicker than Clint so far. This is an exceptionally quick qualifying so far. The McLaren and Edgar there of McCoy, the McLaren and Aston of McCoy, and Edgar flying through. Mike in 10th place at the minute. Oh my days, there's plenty of drivers coming through at the minute. Is that NASCAR in? I don't even know where people have moved to at the minute. There is so many drivers on their final laps, and that is some jumbled order, let's be honest. It is the two McLarens on the front row once again. This time though, it is reversed positions for Buddha and Clint. It is Buddha on pole, Clint in second, with the Haas of Coach in third. That is the driver who just disappeared from the bottom half of the grid. What a lap from Coach, and there we go. Slowly getting some form back on this game is Coach. Very good driver when on his day as well. And an action-packed qualifying there. It's not much separating. 9 tenths separating 14 drivers. That is ridiculous. That is actually insane. Fair enough. We'll be back in a moment for the feature race here with Can-Am. See you all in a sec. Right, hello. Sorry about that, everyone. Delay of getting back forward formation up here. So, as we know, it is the Two Williams once again out in front for this start of the race. This time, Buddha ahead of Clint, Coach in third, Jensen in fourth, I was in fifth, Exception in sixth, Jay in seventh, NASCAR in 8th place. Just behind him there is McLeod, the McLaren of McCoy in 10th place, Mike in 11th, Franny in 12th, Edgar in 13th, Will in 14th, Logan in 15th, in 16th place it is Mr. G, and this time around leading up the rear of the pack is Badger in the Sauber. So we will be having lights out any moment. Well, as soon as Badger and everyone else is at their good spots. We saw the strategies there of a hard to medium or hard medium. We'll see what drivers go for. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are off in 29 laps of the Australian Grand Prix. Will it be as hectic first 4 corners this time around? We will find out. Oh my, the flip happened there. We've got cars all over the show in this opening 5 laps, and it is Exception who has come off the worst there in this race, down to 17th place already in the opening couple of corners, and that is unfortunate for the Red Bull driver, and an early pit stop by the looks of it for him. We have had a DNF, and it looks as if Logan has been shoved into the wall. I'm not too sure, or shoved or drifted out wide in this race, and he is lost the wheel and out of this Grand Prix, and that is unfortunate for Logan there. 2 weeks running, it is an early retirement for one of the McLaren drivers. Hopefully the final couple of races will bring them much better luck for the team. We will have an early safety car though, I believe. Nope, it is VCS for that early DNF, and that is gonna Exception will probably be feel slightly hard done by, and heading into the pits. So is Mr. G. Not too sure, he has got damage there, and 2 drivers into the pits. But still leads this race. Coach just creeping in behind there in 2nd place. This could be a very, very good result for the Alpine driver. And we have got another DNF, and it is in a similar place to Logan's as well. So we will get another virtual safety car here. That is extremely unfortunate in these opening couple of laps. And Mr. G and Exception are 100% going to feel hard done by here by boxing a moment ago to change wings. They're now 30 seconds off of the rest of the pack. Badger in 13th place as well, a little bit off the rest of the pack as well, but much closer at the minute. And we have a drive-through penalty there for Jensen, speeding under the safety car, speeding under the virtual safety car, and costly to his race now as well. We've got the 2 Williams and the Alpine fighting it out at the moment. What is going to happen? Are Buddha and Clint just playing a few little mind games here between them? just keeping each other within, just keeping coach backed up slightly by the looks of it, for Clint to be able to stay on the back of the Alpine and attempt to get back past into the top two positions for the Williams. How can Clint do this? How will he get on through this next DRS zone much shorter than the one he's just come out of? We've got a move here, possibly from Jay up the inside, and there is contact made, but it's not quite enough to... That looked a bit naughty there from Edgar. It's not something that we see all too often from him, so very strange, very unlikely Aston Martin driver there to try and... I'm not saying he did, it just looked as if he tried to push one driver out of the way. Not very, very suspicious, shall we say, on how those two guys were fighting them. So Jenson is just getting closer as well. Clint is making a move on Coach. How is it going to pan out between these two drivers? And Coach is just been overtaken from Clint. So it is now the two Williams out in first and second once again. How is Clint going to do with his teammate? Are they going to just play it nice? Will they have some strange rules like McLaren of papaya rules? Who knows? We'll see how this goes down the main straight. Let's see, what else have we got going on in this race? I believe Jay is now on the back of McLeod here. They've also got it's McLeod, McCoy and Jay in this fight for P5 at the minute. 4 drivers ahead of them as well, all in a fight. Could this help them out and pull a few of them away? McLeod getting past McCoy just before the horrible fast corners there. Is McCoy going to try and fight back with no DRS? He's got the Haas going alongside and nicely through from Jay that time around. No late move to the inside and up into P6. Has McLeod ahead of him now. He will have DRS, so the Haas driver McCoy also gonna have some DRS as well, and the Mercedes just having a bit too much pace for both drivers behind trying to pass. And another move for Jay down the inside. That has been his somewhat favourite way to get past drivers this race so far, and up into P5 for the Haas. So Jenson has actually served his drive-through penalty down in 12th position. A lot of work now as well for that Haas driver to try and make it through. McCoy has just disappeared. It's just, I generally don't know what happened to him. I'm actually scratching my head. He was there as he entered the corner, disappeared as we went through the corner. I'm not gonna lie, that one has baffled me. That... What? I'm so confused by that DNF, I'll be honest. Yeah. That's fried my brain. So, we do have a full safety car now. A bit of a breather for all the drivers. Most of them have jumped into the pits for a fresh set of tyres. Probably a few of them deciding to just deciding to probably switch to a two-stop from what I can work out here at the minute. We are only 7 laps in, so a few early stops. So we do have everyone now. We're at the safety car. I would say it goes in hopefully at the end of this lap. I wouldn't expect it to stay out any longer now. With the remaining 14 drivers all bunched up, nice and close now. right, as I was saying before I realised I was being an idiot. Clint 7J on the mediums, McLeod on the old hards. He can go pretty far into this race, especially with that safety car being able to cool his tyres off a bit. But it is Clint 7J do have the tougher task now on the much older rubber, on the slowly fading out mediums. Could, depending on how well they manage to save some time under those few laps under the safety car, it's gonna be costly for these guys now. Still just under 20 laps to go. It is, the whole field is still fairly close together, with Will boxing a moment ago. A strange time to make a pit stop, in fact, this close after the restart. And a load of moves going on here, not too sure what's happened. That is Edgar, who's had a bit of a moment there in his Aston Martin, and that is not what he's going to want. He's had a tough couple of races here. Oh my days, and there goes 7, just losing some grip, doing a Max Verstappen round the final corner. Looks bound to be going into the wall, somehow keeps it going and corrects the complete how do I finish that sentence? Complete hash of the final corner. So has dropped down to 5th place, is in contention to move up some positions still. No penalties so far this race. Will back in to the pits. He is having an extremely tough race. Had a decent qualifying towards the, well, definitely in the top 4, around 14th or higher. And McLeod has just been pushed off by Buddha. That is unbelievable. Buddha's now going to try and charge down his teammate. He goes to the inside. Clint takes a wider line. Contact made between 7 and what looked to be McLeod there. I'm not 100% sure. And Coach just leading up the rear of Buddha. Clint jumps into the pits, gets rid of those 11 that hold medium tyres. Will 7 box? No, he hasn't. He has stayed out on these tyres. Clint has possibly screwed himself here in the nice respect of it all. Coming in extremely, completely at a random time. I'm surprised he didn't jump in well at the start of the safety car. And yeah, bit of an odd move there for Clint. So it is now Buddha retaking the lead of this race. Coach going back to 2nd there. McLeod, Frenny 7, all very close as well. Frenny basically pushing the Mercedes of McLeod through the left-hand corner there, getting onto the curb, having a moment, giving 7 a chance to try and overtake. It's not quite possible this time around as he goes for the switchback, and it pays off, and he's into P5. Freddy round the outside, retakes P4, sorry. That was some brilliant racing between those two. Bit of wheel to wheel, bit of wheel banging between the two of them, but it seemed all fine, and some great racing between those two, as we saw 7 jumping into the pits for a fresh set of hards. Mike trying to get past Freddy now into P4. Freddy just can't keep that 4th position at the minute. He is struggling at the moment to stay in there, and Mike running wide, having to concede position to the Sauber driver, and it has given Jensen a big chance to make his way back into this fight for P4. there's a lot of excitement today for this race. A lot of battles going on as well. This has been a very good show from the Can-Am drivers so far. A few random DNFs. Oh dear, as I was saying, Franny just gets tapped out of the way. I don't think Mike could do much about it. I don't think either driver could do too much about it though. But it has cost Franny the chance at DRS, and he jumps into the pits with only 9 lap old hards. That is an interesting move for the Sauber, and yeah, strange one for him. He is on a fresh set of hards though, so potentially 40 laps on those tyres to the end. Could this pay off? It is Coach versus Buddha here for the top 2 spots, 3 seconds ahead of McLeod. Jensen in 4th place, is actually closing the gap to P3 at the minute. Not many battles going on at the moment. Mr. G in P8, 3 weeks away, and he is battling for some good points at the minute. 7 lap old hard, so doesn't realistically have to stay to the end of the pit again. He can stay out till the end. Coach biding his time, using a lot of his experience here from how to overtake in Tier 1 previously. So biding his time is much closer as we head down towards the run down to turn 1 in the slipstream of Buddha. Buddha moving around, making sure he's not going to get overtaken in turn 1. And Coach has got a much better run on the exit into the entry and exit of turn 1, and he is ahead of the Williams driver, locks up and goes wide. That is unfortunate for Coach. That was a very good battle, and unfortunate really for the Alpine driver. Just slightly outbroke himself into turn 4 there, and turn 3 there. And it has cost him a chance of DRS into turn 7 and 8, I believe that is, as Jensen has gained now to manage to overtake McLeod and already pulled 7/10 of a gap. DRS in his favour once again this time around, and he is now charging down Coach for P2. Jensen having a very good drive so far in this race. I believe he was down towards the back of the grid. Oh no, he started 4th, in this race. I'm a complete idiot, that's all I'm going to say on that one. So yeah, upper positions so far in this race. McLeod up 5. Badger, the big winner in this race, currently up 11 places, and a fantastic effort from the Sauber driver. He has clearly learned things off of Alex there on how to do a last to first race, because that is an exceptional drive so far for Badger in the Sauber. Let's head to this one. So a huge group of cars now have actually built together. Clint making a move on Badger into P6 and on his way back towards the front of the grid here. Mr. G and Riles getting time penalties there. It is Edgar now trying to fight Badger for P7. What is going to happen between these two drivers? Edgar with a small lock up there. Nothing too major, still stays within a decent amount of space between him and the car ahead. Is he going to make the move into turn one? Makes the move, looking to down the inside, doesn't make it happen this time around, buys his time. Edgar, another driver, using a decent amount of experience as Raj tries to go around the outside of the Aston Martin driver, and Badger going wide, giving Edgar and Riles the chance to close up between these two, and Jay is also in this fight now as well, so a four-way battle for P6 at the minute. This is going to be close, this is going to be intense now for the next couple of laps. Edgar smashing into the wall through the mid-corner there, and he has actually got DRS. Badger has lost a couple of positions, and he's just lost a third position in the space of 2 DRS zones. Badger is going to have a chance though to get back at a couple of these guys with with Riles, Jay and Badger all in having DRS on Edgar there. We've also got Freddie 1.1 seconds behind his teammate at the minute in P10, and 7 flies past Edgar for P6 in this race, and these guys are probably going to swap positions a good few times now over the next few laps. Oh my days, what we've got going on here. Jay and Edgar going wheel to wheel through probably a set of corners you don't want to go wheel to wheel for, and Jay stumbling off track for a moment, almost going sideways, somehow keeps it within a couple of tenths of Edgar, but it has cost Edgar a huge amount of time. He's dropped to almost 2 seconds behind Riles, and don't know how he's doing it, but he has done extremely well to stay ahead of, oh my, oh dearie me, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I've got no words for that. Exception jumping into the pits. I'm not too sure if he's got wing damage from that. Well, I don't know if he got involved in that actually, but that this baffled me. That is, I was saying some good racing happening earlier, and then a couple of drivers get pushed off, re-enter like absolute loons by the looks of it. Although in the Haas defence, not much he could do, puts the power down and slides through the corner. So Coach chasing Buddha, who is being chased by Jensen. This top 3 looks almost certain now. They are 15 seconds behind, and Clint decided he wants to go cut the grass. Fair play to him. Cools his tyres down slightly, gets back on track, and now can go 8 laps flat out for this remaining part of the race. Has got the advantage of DRS, even though there's no one ahead of him. Managed to get the DRS was well within a second of the detection zone before the final corner there. So had a good run on, would have had DRS down the main straight, has it again through second. Will it be enough to try and keep him in contention for the win here, or has that taken a bit too much out of his time for this race? Buddha seems to be managing these tyres extremely well so far. The lucky Williams driver though getting a bit of DRS, bit of a helping hand from the DRS on the lapped car of Will there. So close battles have we got going on? We've got Riles against Clint. We've got Edgar against McLeod, and I think those are the closest battles, other than Coach and Buddha at the minute, on track. So Edgar's just dropped just over a second behind now. 7 is making a move down the inside, and there's contact. Riles has a moment, gets overtaken by his teammate, so the camera changed at the worst time there, but it seemed to be a move that wasn't really there for Riles, but who knows, at the end of the day, that is a unfortunate moment for the Mercedes. On the positive for him though, he managed to have DRS, so he's kept on his teammate. Can they work together, pull themselves that 7 seconds back, and try and fight the Williams of Clint at the minute? He has actually found a bit of pace. He's closed the gap to the top 3 to 13 seconds now from the initial 14 it was around 2 laps ago. So Mr. G is getting closer to Badger ahead. Has he got DRS? Was he just outside detection zone at the time of going through? Unfortunately, just outside. Difficult one there for Mr. G. Unfortunate for him. A very good race for him so far though. He has pulled a decent result out of the bag for Racing Bulls here. Currently P8, chasing down 4P7, has unfortunately got a time penalty to contend with towards the end, and shouldn't realistically shouldn't drop him out at points. May, depending on what it is, we've not actually seen as of yet, could potentially keep him in P8. He has got DRS this time around. He is half a second from Badger ahead. Is this the chance for 2 virtual safety car, 2 virtual, 1 full on the safety car side of things? Yeah, 2 virtual, 1 full. And Mr. G making a move around the outside. Oh, I think he got a bit close to Badger there. Makes some contact. Luckily, nothing too catastrophic for the drivers. A small bit of wing damage for Mr. G. Hopefully for his sake, nothing to completely ruin any of his race here. Still has a decent amount of speed through the corner zone. DRS active for him once again, exceptional, closing in. How is it going to pay off this time around? And it is so close there for Mr. G to make the move on Badger. Exception has closed this gap massively since these two have been fighting out for 7th place. And Mr. G just getting a bit defensive there, costing himself over a second on time. Has Exception now closing him down. Will Exception make the move? Squeezes him to the outside of the track, makes a move down the inside, and that is Exception into 8th. Mr. G unfortunately down to 9th. Still plenty in this race to go for these guys. 4.5 laps with Buddha out in front so far. Right, so it is an out exception, closing this gap to Badger. And Clint has got a gap down to 9.1 seconds. That is 4 seconds in 3 laps there. Absolutely insane from the Williams. How can he do in these final few laps? Is it possible for Clint to try and get into the top 3? I'm not too sure in all honesty, but it's definitely worth a go for Clint in P4 currently. We are watching Exception overtake Badger round the outside. Badger just braking much earlier, doesn't want to any contact through that corner again. So Badger down into 8th place. Mr. Gino in the within a chance of DRS. He has got Frenny behind him as well, so it's going to be close between these 3 drivers at the minute. Edgar down to 1.2 seconds. He has closed that gap massively as well, with these few drivers ahead of him fighting it out for positions. He's managed to get that gap now down to half a second. He's going to have DRS through this next part of the track. How well are his tyres going to do? He is on much fresher tyres, I believe, compared to someone just almost get pushed into a wall again. That is unbelievable. So yes, Edgar on much fresher medium tyres. He is on 4 lap old mediums. Drivers ahead of him on 11, 18 and 19 lap old tyres. We're going through into a wall and I couldn't turn and I oh no. That's actually gutting Owen. No. Oh mate, that's I feel sorry for you there. But I have noticed the game crashing and glitching a lot recently as well. Yeah. Oh dear. So back to this quick battle at the minute. It is opened up a bit between these 4 drivers, but Edgar still on the back of Mr. G at the minute. Not much separated them. Edgar with a time penalty, and now it is all down to position. No one's going to be swapping places too much at the minute. And Edgar ahead of Mr. G. Frenny just in the background there trying to stay close. Ooh. Okay. That's good to know. That's thrown me off a little bit. That's good to know. Edgar now just trying to make it past Badger here, and Edgar on the back of the Sauber now. Mr. G just within DRS, so Frenny closing in behind him, and Edgar makes the move into P8 and ahead of Badger for the final round of the final lap of the race for Buddha now in final lap for Buddha now, and So if he beats Edgar, oh damn. So let's head down towards this battle. 4p 10 minute is between the two Salvers, and I was going to say Mr. G, but unfortunately he's dropped off just a bit here. We are going to head towards the final couple of corners now, as Buddha will take the win in Australia for the Williams team. Coach is on the podium in Tier 2 here for the Alpine team, and Jensen will take home third place, with Clint coming across the line a little bit behind in fourth place. Riles in fifth. McLeod will come across the line in sixth place. Exception will be in seventh place, with Edgar Franny. Well, Edgar will come across the line in 8th place. A late pit stop for him, and it has paid off. Edgar, Freddy, Badger, Mike and Mr. G all flying across the line there. Mike moving up to 10th place, and Mr. G to 11th, Badger into 9th, Freddy unfortunately down to 12th place, and Jay through across the line into across the line in the final position. And I have just been told Jensen is your Tier 2 champion for this season, with 2 races to spare. He has wrapped up the title with a tough drive today, but a overall, we don't want that one for the minute. So he's finished on 21 points this race week altogether. Third place in the feature race. A very good season for the Haas driver. A few DNFs this race, and overall a fantastic oh damn, okay. Let's get through all of this quickly before we forget again, as we missed the pit stops on the sprint race. So a lot of instance to
good day, bruv.
Tracks for this one. Hello.
How'd the race go?
Not too bad, to be honest. It's just finished.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, it's alright though, Fives. You could. Literally just finished.
Oh, what a great race we had, boys! Who won?
Buddha took the win. Jensen took the title. With 2 rounds to go.
Yeah.
Alright. Let me round off here quickly. Thank you everyone for watching. We will be back. Please say you know next race. I don't. What is the next race? Crap. We will be back for Qatar next week. Thank you all for watching. Until then, bye bye.